Married at First Sight UK, Episode 20. Continuing on with Amy and Josh and their Vowel Renewals. They left us on a cliffhanger yesterday. They did. So I will continue. As Amy said, I'm a strong, independent woman. I don't need anyone. Yes, that's what she said. She asked herself, am I being mugged off? Am I wasting my time with someone that's not into me? But as she was giving up, she asked herself, you fought for us and stepped up to meet me at my level, where you've continued climbing. Oh, this poor girl. She hasn't got a clue. She then goes on to say, Josh, this isn't the end for us. Our real journey is just beginning. Oh, we know where this is going. But let's not cut any corners, because love's just round one of them. Yes, that's the line. Love's just round the corner. So as you guessed, with that being said, she said yes. Yes, she said yes. Oh, you know what I think already. I'm not going to say it again. Then it was Josh's turn. In short, he said, we've had good times, but God knows we've had bad. He continues to say, coming into this process, I told myself I'd always have an open mind and that he'll always be honest with her and himself. Then he went on to say something about her selfish outbursts has had him on the fence, and that making his decision that he has today has not been an easy one, and he sees a potential roadblock in front of them. But despite the difficulties we have faced, I can see why we were matched. Yes, that's what he said. He then goes on to say that she's an incredible woman and that she's brought positive things out of him that he never knew existed. Yes, that's what he said. Lastly, he says, Amy, thank you for teaching me how long a piece of string is. He then goes on to retrieve this piece of string from his pocket and ties it around her wrist as a form of everlasting love. Yes. So we already know the answer is yes. And it was sealed with a kiss. I just have no words. I really have no words. Moving on to our last two couples, we have Morag and Luke and Taya and Adam. Out of our last two couples, it was Adam that stayed behind whilst Taya went home to her mother's. And then it was Morag that stayed behind while Luke went back to Wales. When it came to Luke going back home to Wales, he had a conversation with his mother. And of course, mother knows best. Let me tell you, in this situation, mother knows best. He was telling her all about what happened when he went to Essex and how he felt all alone and that he was ready to come home because of the whole atmosphere and how the day went. His mother was not happy to hear that. When we saw her at the wedding, initially her view of Morag was she was expecting Morag to bring her son back to her, bring him out of his shell, the whole 9 yards. That's where she was going with that. But the more she's hearing about Morag, nah, she's not liking it. I know she's not liking it. Even though Luke is still wishing for it to work. Yes, he's still wishing for it to work. His mother's concerns are, is there enough between them for it to work long distance? That discussion has never come up during the whole of this series about the distance between them. She lives in Essex, he lives in Wales. So that is a big concern. And her concern is that she can see her son making the effort, but will Morag make the effort? Yes, I'm totally in agreement with the mother. As she said, I just want you to be happy. Yes, she wants him to be happy. When it came to Morag, she met up with her mum in Brighton, I believe, by the beach. And they were having similar discussion about the relationship, of course. Her mum was really telling her she needs to let her walls down. She needs to let him in. She needs to try with this because everybody on the outside can see that he's good for her. It's just her, as her mum said, she's got the blinkers on. She can't see anything at the moment. We seem to be going round in circles here. We really do. Luke is too good for her, I'm sorry to say, but he is. Morag is not for him, even though he wishes it for himself. Morag is too pretentious, too materialistic, too image conscious, and too much into the aesthetics of a man, of her ideal man. It's just not going to work. Anyway, moving on. We've now come to the day of the Vowel Renewals. Luke turned up looking very nice in his linen suit. But Luke, come on. What happened to the tie? What happened to the tie? Oh, dear me. Anyway, Morag turned up too. Her dress looked nice. Bit too much cleavage for me, but still, very nice dress. Again, Luke, you didn't compliment her. What happened there? What happened? Was it just the nerves? Yeah, I think I'm going to boil it down to nerves. Luke started off by saying his vows. As with the other couples and their vows, it all started off on a high, but now come the lows. I also questioned some of the lows. He wondered whether he would ever be enough for her. She told him he wasn't her type. She kept him at arm's length, physically and emotionally. He said a lot of the time he was ahead of her, and he opened up to her and told her that he loved her, even though he knew she wasn't there yet. He then goes on to say that this is the biggest decision he's ever had to make, and that's because he's looking at making her happy and himself happy too. He says he's been hurt in the past, he just doesn't want that again. So often it felt like I was putting your happiness before my own. The fact is, I realise that's what love is. My heart belongs to you. Am I actually hearing this? Did those words actually just come out of my mouth? What is going on here? Has he lost his frigging mind? Oh, give me strength, Almighty. Listen to your mother. Listen to your mother. You've made the biggest mistake. The biggest mistake. So as you can see, he said yes. He did actually say more behind that, but I just lost the plot after that. I just thought, nah, I can't talk anymore. Let's just move on. So moving on, it's now Morag's turn. Again, we started off on a positive. But then the word however came up. She said, however, it was clear to me from the start that you weren't the type of guy that I would normally go for. And she started to question why these two were matched. It was during the honeymoon that she realised how polar opposites they were. She was loud, he was quiet. She was bold, he was timid. I was comfortable in my own skin, you were self-conscious. It was at that point that she said she wanted to run. She didn't sign up for a project. She wanted a ready-made man. She also said that she's worried that he's not being his genuine self and whether he's just saying yes to her to please her. She then went on to say that she's concerned about committing to him now, just in case they're heartbroken further down the line. But then she goes on to say that's not what she wants. Oh, I can't get this. None of this makes any sense. So she said yes. That's what she did. She said yes. Oh, this is ridiculous. I'm telling you now, it's not going to last. I'm going to give it weeks. I'm not even going to give it months. I think I said this before. I'm sure I said 6 weeks and then I halved it to 3, if I remember rightly. Yeah, I'm sticking with that. Anyway, they sealed it with a kiss and a hug and the happily ever after. Yeah, they're living in fantasy land. I'll give it 3 weeks. Anyway, moving on to Adam and Taya. Adam, as we know, stayed back at the apartment. Didn't actually see him talk to anybody, as in his family. But he did, at the end of his little one-to-one with the camera, he did turn around and say he had something to tell Taya. And that he's absolutely terrified. And he doesn't know when the best time would be to tell her. Tell her what? So now my head's going 10 to the dozen right now, wondering what this could be. Anyway, moving on to Taya. She's gone home to her mum's. Now, she's having a conversation with her mother and she's getting anxious. Anxious because she's away from Adam. They've been together, for 6 weeks or longer? And they've never been out of each other's sight for maybe a couple of hours, if that. And now she's anxious, thinking with the length of time they're away from each other, is he going to start having second thoughts? And yada, yada, yada. Dear. Because even she's saying to her mum, you know how I get. I do get a little anxious and so forth, whether things will change, whether he'll still be into me. For someone that was so positive, now come the insecurities. Interesting. Her mum, however, feels that she's being irrational because of past relationships. But on the other hand, her mum does feel that she can be very impulsive in regards to her wanting to move to Doncaster and move in with Adam straight away, because she has done that in the past, made impulsive moves which haven't turned out well. Yeah. I understand, Mummy. Yeah, I get Mummy. Mummy would love her to just slow things down. Take your time. What's the hurry? That's really what she's saying. When Taya was talking to the camera, she was actually getting very emotional because she's wondering what he's thinking. Her being away from him, is he having second thoughts? Yeah, she hates rejection. Oh God, the whole 9 yards. My goodness me. Now I'm starting to worry about your emotional state. Now I understand where your mum's coming from. About you moving too fast. Because she knows you too well. You just get clingy from the sounds of it. Being away from him for a day, 2 days, you're climbing the walls. Oh God, this is not healthy. Not healthy at all. Anyway, fast forward to the Vowel Renewals. Adam turned up in his blue check suit. He looked very smart, actually. Yeah, not bad. Not bad at all. Taya, however, turned up in one crochet number. I'm not too sure where she was going. Was she going clubbing? Because, darling, wrong outfit for the wrong occasion. I did like it, though. But wrong outfit. You, of all people, I would have expected better. But anyway, she did look nice. Moving on. Taya was the first one to recite her vows. In short, she said that she feels like when meeting Adam, she found her soulmate and her best friend. You make me feel like the most amazing and loved woman in the world. You've proven to me that a soulmate does exist and that you really are mine. Lastly, she says, Adam, I love you and I can't wait to spend the rest of our lives together. So we already know that it was going to be a yes from her. Moving on to Adam. Again, in short, he said, the day we came together at the end of the aisle has changed my life forever. Antigua will hold a special place in my heart forever. It was a time that I fell in love for the first and last time. I didn't think it could be possible for me to feel comfortable around somebody in such a short time. People have told us that life outside the bubble won't be such plain sailing. He thinks they're right, and he's questioned how they will face those challenges. He goes on to say, whatever life throws at us, we can overcome it. But then he goes on to say, but recently, he's starting to think that something was missing. He says it's been eating away at him. He just didn't know when the right time was to bring it up. He now wants to give her the one thing that she's been missing. So this is going slightly differently to what I had in my head. He says it's a bit back to front, but much of this experiment has been. Now, my head is going, yep, I know where I'm going with this now. Yeah, let's wait and see. He's fallen in love with her. He wants to spend the rest of his life with her, building a family and a future. And now he's reaching into his pocket. We know where this is going. We know where this is going. Yes. Here comes the ring. Here comes the ring. He's now on his knees. Yes, he's on his knees. Asking her to marry him. Yes. She's now emotional. Yep, tears. She's emotional. I could see this was heading this direction. But for a split second, I did have my doubts when he said he had something to tell her. But then I thought, nah, he wouldn't do it to her. And of course, we know the answer was yes. Just to confirm, she said yes. So these two, hopefully, will live happily ever after. This is definitely a fairy tale. And I wish them all the luck in the world. Just to add, I believe there is one more episode to come. I believe it's a reunion show. Sometime next week, not too sure when. But I will come back with a final review behind that. So, this is where I'm going to leave it. If you like what you've heard, please like, comment and subscribe. Till next time.